Can Luffy solo this 10 anime verse? We'll start with Black Clover, but slowly we will talk about Naruto, Demon Slayer and even One Punch Man. And by soloing, I mean Luffy versus everyone at once, not 1v1 against each of them. Also, I'll make cross comparison videos anime only, cause I know most of you don't read manga. Now let's start with Black Clover, and if it was 1v1 against each characters, I think Luffy can beat most of them since we are talking about anime only. But it's about soloing the verse, and there are so many characters for Luffy to handle. Yami with his Mana Zone, Asta and Nas with their Devil Union form, the Dark Tide, and captains like Mereoleona, Nozel, Fugolian, and there are just so many strong characters that they all are at least first Yonko commander level or higher. In terms of durability, endurance and stamina, Luffy definitely is much superior. But offense with Mana Zone, hacks like time magic and so crazy speed that made speed of light a joke. Luffy simply can't handle all of that. Definitely not soloing the verse. Next, let's talk about Demon Slayer, and people who are worth talking here are Upper Moons, Hashiras, Yoroichi, Muzan and few main characters, cause everyone else is basically one conquerors and all down. Among Hashiras, the strongest one are Gyumi and Sanemi, but we haven't seen them in action. But we saw Akaza vs Rengoku, who is also one of the strongest Hashira, and comparing him side by side, even pre-time skip Luffy had better feats. Tanjiro and his gang aren't even as strong as Rengoku as of now, so no further discussions needed. You might think Shinobu has a little problem, but Luffy won't be affected by her poison, and even if he does, there is no way they will actually manage to poison him. Yorichi on the other hand is pretty strong, but not strong enough to even damage Luffy. It might be a little problem to kill Upper Moon and Muzan, but Luffy actually is Sun Girl. So can he actually evaporate them at once? Well, that's an interesting point, but even if he doesn't, he can simply let them attack till sunrise without actually getting any injuries, and they will automatically die. Luffy definitely solos the Demon Slayer verse. Similar verse is Bleach, but power levels are lots more higher. In Bankai, Yamamoto literally have temperature of sun, and he's not even the strongest character. Heck, I can name multiple characters like Aizen, Ichigo or Yhwach who can solo the One Piece verse itself, so Luffy can't even think of soloing this. MHA on the other hand is the anime that I think Luffy would stand a chance. Most of the bottom tier heroes or villains would be knocked out by his Conqueror's Haki, and among those who doesn't, most won't be able to tank more than one punch from him. Only people like All Might or Prime AFO would be able to make Luffy serious, but in battle of strength, they would also be overpowered. Luffy is extremely durable, plus his Devil Fruit allows him to ignore blunt damage, and he has stamina to fight for several hours straight, so overpowering Luffy with numbers won't be possible. MHA however have some problematic characters, starting with Aizawa. If Aizawa managed to turn Luffy's Haki or Devil Fruit off, they could actually win, but that's again if we consider Haki or Devil Fruit as a quirk. Other little problems might be Wasp with his water and Eri with her hacks, but come on, Luffy is capable of taking care of them even before they got ready. One-shot hacks like Shigaraki have potential to take down Luffy, but there is a thing called Observation Haki, and with the speed Luffy have, that won't be a problem either. However, among all million combinations, there is one single possibility where MHA verse could actually win. It is if everyone basically give their coke to AFO and he becomes ultimate being with all quirks with deadly combination. But that's still 50-50 to be honest. What do you think? Could Luffy win if they do this or not? Let me know in the comments. I would say Luffy would still solo MHA verse. Next, we have One Punch Man, and I don't know why I have OPM on this video. First, let's remove Saitama because of course he's not losing. And I thought after removing Saitama we can have a good conversation because I'm not including any manga characters like Blast or Gore, and Garyu is still pretty weak. But then I remembered this alien, this child and whatever this is. And even if we remove these three, there are plenty of characters who although might not beat Luffy in 1v1, Luffy won't stand a chance in all at once. Sorry Luffy. But as a compensation, I'm airing Attack on Titan here as well, and it's definitely easy win for Luffy. King Kong Gun should be able to deal with even Aaron's founding titan, and attacks like Kong Gatling would deal with multiple colossal titans at once, and other titans aren't even worth mentioning. They're basically fooder giants like those Big Mom bullied as a 5 years old. Gear 4 is overkill, so Luffy don't even need to use his Gear 5. Luffy wins. Next anime verse is Hunter x Hunter, and I would say it is pretty close. The strongest characters we need to talk about are Miriam, Netero, Gon and Ging, 3 Royal Guards, Hisoka, Lucifer, Zodiac family and few others. So there are so many characters in Hunter x Hunter with unique abilities, which might give Luffy some issues, but scale of their attack and the durability and speed is nowhere near of Luffy. The strongest human being, Isaac Netero, have an ability called Hakuzuki Kanon, which allows him to create 100 hands and have almost infinite combinations of attacks. But his attacks aren't anywhere near the scale of Kong Gatling of Luffy. On the other hand, Miriam, the king, was killed by poor man's Rose. Is Luffy less dangerous than that? I don't think so. Gon's biggest attribute is physical strength, and his strongest attack killed Peter. But the scale of destruction Gon had, come on, Luffy had that level of attack during Thriller Bark, so currently Luffy don't even need to be serious. The next tier of characters are Royal Guards, and those guys are far below these 3 characters that we talked previously. Even the combined strength of all 3 Royal Guards won't be on the same level with Miriam or Gon, and next tier of characters are even worse. So even though there are many characters with many unique abilities, none poses a serious threat for Luffy, except one person, Nanika. Her wish granting ability have power to alter reality and do literally anything. If anyone wishes for Luffy's death, that's all. There is nothing Luffy can do, and if Aluka makes any request and Luffy can't fulfill it, he will die as well. He can't even play nice with her. That would be even harder for Luffy than defeating literally everyone else. So I'd say Luffy won't be able to solo the verse, not because he isn't strong enough, but because there is Nanika. Next verse is Fire Force, and I heard things are going too crazy in the manga that I don't know much about. But I'm pretty sure if I'm talking about manga, this wouldn't even be a debate. But even in the anime only, will Luffy be able to solo Fire Force? Let's start with Syndra. Durability, physical strength, stamina, Luffy clears him without issue. But main problem is his speed. Syndra can move faster than the speed of light and can literally reverse the time flow. Some people might argue Luffy is also faster than light, but come on, he's not. Even he's nowhere near the speed of Syndra. And in case Luffy somehow wins against Syndra, there are Soul, Joker, Burns, Benimaru and more guys who are on the same level or even stronger than Syndra. So Luffy isn't soloing Fire Force. Second last on this video, I have Jujutsu Kaisen. Is Luffy soloing it? No. Why? Gojo Satoru. This name single-handedly removed the tiniest possibility of Luffy soloing JJK verse. So let's just move on. Ending this video with most likely the greatest rival of One Piece, Naruto. But their rivals in terms of story are other things, but when you talk about power levels, no doubt Naruto wins. Especially if it's Luffy versus the whole verse. I don't even feel like explaining. But I'm surprised there are people who believe Luffy can solo Naruto verse. Like, really? Godly beings like Kaguya, Hagoromo and even characters with Sage of 6 Path power, they would easily defeat Luffy. Given the feats that they have shown, it could rather go opposite way if you are talking about soloing the verse. Check out this video of 5 vs 5 battle between Devil Fruit and non-Devil Fruit users and subscribe to this channel and see you there.